try to change the
next
background a
week's
little
clothes.
bit.
Oh, you changed. Oh my God, you are
Yes.
too
That-
cool,
That's
my
why.
friend.
That's why I monkey around with this stuff back here and
Got it going.
see if people pay attention. Trying to do
Clearly, he's a rookie, guys. He's a rookie.
Why?
Because we don't really care about that.
Well, just seeing if anybody's paying attention.
Who does that?
Who does that?
That sounds expensive.
I don't know. People who look for Easter eggs.
You guys ready to go?
Yeah. Let's record a podcast and have a beer.
How you guys doing this week?
Hey, I'm doing good. Yeah.
Yeah. Whew, it's been a week. It's been a week. Anyway, welcome to the Couch Co-op Show. I'm Ian. I got Dave, Jared, and Nick with me.
Hey.
Yo.
Mostly always. Nick is new. This is your third show on now? I think it's like
Third or
well, your fourth show overall, but your third show
Yeah.
in this Aaron
In
stint.
the series.
In the Aaron stint.
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know. I already lost count.
Last week we choked on your old chub. That means this week is my turn.
Oh no!
Oh no! And I'm gonna really make him choke. On Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, you mother!
A classic.
Yeah.
A classic of what? Which one did you get? So we all have tall boys. Nick, did Nick tease the 40 and get the 40, or is he just drinking an aged out?
Jared's got the 24. He
does have a 24. Jared went big.
Oh wow!
I didn't want to buy a 6-pack. I just wanted a can, and this is the can.
You're gonna miss out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I bought a 6-pack of 12-ounce glass bottles, and I saw that they're outdated by about, I don't know, they expired September, and that made me a little sad. So I did get the 40.
Oh!
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
So before we crack it, over under on Nick finishing that before this podcast is over.
Oof.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
40 and
He's drinking beer.
Yeah.
He's gonna do it. Who's saying he's gonna do it? Who say he's not gonna do it?
I say Nick is going to do it.
I say where there's a will, there's a way. So yeah, I agree with Jared. It's just that's Pabst is kind of a fizzy beer. So yeah.
I'm gonna say he's not gonna do it. Just to be nice.
I'm not gonna agree with Ian.
I'm not gonna
force. I don't think he's gonna do
it. So yeah,
it does have a twist top, doesn't it?
All right, let's go.
Yes.
He's not doing it with 40 hands and taping it to his hand.
3, 2, 1.
All right. Crack it.
Smells delicious.
Yeah.
So no glass. Cause
it tastes delicious.
Jared's got the wrong idea.
I'm
don't drink
glassing
PBR out of a glass.
Jared always glasses it. Jared's gonna be our visual correspondent. Jared,
I don't think I've ever seen PBR in a glass. I've never gotten it on draft.
I've always gotten on pints.
Right here.
Yeah, it's on glass right there. Here, I'll throw this one at you, Dave.
It is definitely golden throat charmer.
Nick gets closer to that 40, and then Jared gets closer to the 24.
Well, it's very fizzy, which I actually like.
I like this beer.
I'm gonna say, I had it in the glass bottle, the 12 ounces, and I wasn't really digging it. But this is actually, and maybe freshness does matter, but this is actually tasting a lot better. It's tasting like a lot closer to draft, which is, I mean,
it's nice. It's got a little bit of a bite. Yeah, it's got a little bit of flavor in the bite to it in a good way.
It has the skunk that Ian likes.
Yeah.
So my problem with this beer is nothing that we will experience in this podcast. It's like usually if
it's
I have
the next day
one of these,
well,
I have a hangover the next day. I need
more than one. Like if I were to drink like 6 of these, it's a dirty. It looks like a clean beer. Like if you look at Jared's glass, it looks pretty clean, but it does seem there's something about it that like it'll fuck you up the next day.
It brings out like really bad hangovers.
Yeah.
Like
other beers in its category, like Rainier or Montucky or Well, hams will do the same thing to
This
me.
So
was gonna-
the biggest perk about pouring it into a glass is that fizziness is gone. Like it actually isn't very bubbly at all after you pour it out. But
I'm
if you
quite
drink it out of the
enjoying the
can,
fizziness.
you're getting a lot of the bubbles and lots of burps.
Pabst Blue Ribbon since 1844. Industry, alcohol beverage. 1844, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Founder, Jacob Best. Headquarters currently is in San Antonio, Texas. That's what Wikipedia says.
Yeah, it is, because there was
Yeah.
a big deal about it, because they make a big deal about still being from Milwaukee, but they're actually not, and haven't been for a long time.
That ship has sailed.
Yep. And the other thing that was, when the brewery
don't
was
have their own-
founded, it was quite a smaller brewery, but there was a big fire in Chicago, which was the home of most American, the big American breweries, way
So,
back 100+ years ago, and
Frederick Pabst was a steamship captain. And he was
Pabst.
and son-in-law of Philip
Wow,
Best.
and that phrase works very well. That ship has sailed.
Steamboat
Yeah.
Willie?
That's funny. I feel like this is like a whole story that I I don't know if I want to read. It's like, what is going
You
on?
could do a whole
What is going on? This should be a movie.
I always wonder about beers like this though that have been around for so long. I wonder how the taste has changed over time, because you stop and think
Especially before
about
Prohibition.
it. Yeah, before there's a lot of knowledge lost in Prohibition. But anyone who drank this in the 1930s, most people who drank this in the 1930s are probably not drinking it nowadays.
Because they're dead?
Actually, well, yeah, because you'd have to be 21 to drink it in the 1930s. So you'd be.
Was it 21 or 18?
Call it 20 years. You're talking.
I mean, those 3 years make a
you're,
difference.
You're talking 110 years old now if you were drinking age back then. So maybe your parents gave it to you when you were 5 or whatever. Drink it like water. But...
Okay, so I'm confused. So it's San Antonio. But is that because the production of it is Miller Brewing out of San Antonio? That's what it's in 2001. Production was contracted to Miller Brewing Company, and by then, what remained of Pabst Company operated out of San Antonio. So is Miller still brewing this, or no?
Yeah, they actually had there was a contract dispute a couple years ago, where I think Miller was not going to renew the contract, and I everyone Google it because I forget the details.
No, and I feel like this beer was the beer that the Montucky Cold Snack was modeled on, if you know what I mean, in the fact that they contract to brew that, they don't actually own the brewery and all the rest of it. And reading about this, 1977, they were pumping out 18 million barrels of this, and by 2001, when they did the contract brewing, they were selling less than 1 million barrels. So
did they even have a brewery at that point, or like when did they actually lose?
It doesn't say when they lost the brewery, but they left Milwaukee in 1996, and that was when they were brewing they had their own brewery at that point, and they kind of stopped. So
it has, guys. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like shit on your parade here, but I don't know how big the Great American Beer Festival is. But it has won a shit ton of awards at the Great American Beer Festival and at the World Beer Cup.
When has it won these awards? Because
well, the last one, it won gold at the Great American Beer Festival. It won gold in 2016, American Style Lager, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
This is definitely a study in how to resurrect a brand that the shine has gone off, if you know what I mean.
Let's talk about the flavor. What do you guys think?
How much were the judges paid for that?
Yeah. They were poor. This is an underdog brewery. This is not Budweiser or Coors Banquet.
It smells like lager. Not too hoppy, kind of nice. The taste is very refreshing, and the alcohol's not strong at all. I think it's 3.8, is it?
It's
gotta be more than 3.8
or something.
I think the standard PBR is 3.8. It's the
That's really light. It's got to be more
Yeah.
than that if it was giving us hangovers.
So a quick Google search says it's 4.8 because I think the light was like 3 point something, and
There you go.
that was
It's
the
a whole
thing.
nother level, Dave.
Yes.
Interesting that the can
You're
does
here.
not
It's here.
display the alcohol content.
It doesn't want you to know.
Yeah. It's a secret.
It's a secret. There's a lot of beers that do that. Come on, only microbrews like to show what their fucking alcohol content is. Really.
Actually, Dead Guy for the longest time never used to show their ABV.
Well, that's the funny thing.
Which-
Like in the UK, it's actually law that they have to print it on the can, or the bottle.
We just need to know the calories, Dave. We need to know we're getting fat. We
It's
don't
funny.
need to know
We need
if we're
to
getting
know.
drunk.
Just need the Surgeon General's warning.
Yeah,
They just need to add that to the bottom of the surgeon
warning. You might give
General's
birth to
warning.
alien.
Yeah, warning. Drinking too much of this will make you look like you're pregnant.
So, I don't know if it's on your cans going back to the San Antonio headquarters, but on the side of my bottle here it says Pabst Brewing Company P.O. Box.
Yep.
It's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yep. It says that on here as well, and it's like, well, that means a lot, doesn't it? A PO box doesn't cost you much.
Right.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So I just want to share a memory. So PBR. So I don't know. I think I shared it on the last episode. Well, I'm going to share a couple things. I think the last episode I shared, I picked this beer because Aaron's not a big fan of this beer, so I chose it when he was away. You're welcome, Aaron. But my number one memory of this beer is
doing the hard work for you.
Doing the hard work for you, Aaron. So we used to go down on the weekends, or I would go down, just me with my grandfather. We would go down to the boat, and we would sand the teak, or we'd work on the boat. We do whatever, and by boat I mean a 42-foot yacht. Hey guys, I grew up spoiled. Anyway,
filthy richer.
I wasn't rich. I was poor, but my grandparents were wealthy. Anyway, I would go down to the boat on the weekends with my grandfather and work on the boat. What that meant was I'd do something while he sat there and ate corn chips and drank PBR, while I slaved away doing some stupid menial task, and he'd be listening to Rush Limbaugh. So my childhood and my teenage years are filled with corn chips, PBR, and Rush Limbaugh.
Nice.
So these are things that I associate with this beer. I find it funny, but it's also comfort. It's like nostalgia. It's comforting. It's this weird kind of soul food, and
it is funny how beers have reputations.
You don't listen to, or you.
This one's got the hipsters have kind of took it back, and in some respects, it's almost like now it's a hipster beer. It's not even just a regular person beer.
Well, it was a hipster beer.
Well,
are hipsters even around anymore?
Yeah, the new homeless. You've never played that game, Hipster or Homeless.
But this beer is in line, in the same price line as things like Rolling Rock, Rainier, Keystone, Busch, all that kind of stuff.
Fair to say.
The tier below Budweiser and
High Life,
yeah.
Miller High Life.
Yeah,
that's his
by the
company.
Way, Pabst actually, they actually went and acquired a lot of those. Well, maybe not a lot of the brands that Jared just mentioned, but they actually acquired a lot of those kind of budget brands. I don't know if Olympia is still around, but that was
Olympia is still around, yeah.
Rainier,
but it's around. It's around as a brand. Ole's. I don't know who makes Ole, but I don't think Ole's made is. I don't know who owns that.
No,
but.
It's not made in Tumwater anymore.
Olympia is owned by Pabst.
Yeah. Rainier, maybe
is also owned by Pabst.
Is it?
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And if you're in Texas, Lone Star is
Rainier. Rainier's the superior one. It's a bit cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I'll agree with you on that.
But PBR, I will. Another fun fact is my adopted son John Patrick Kelly. He traveled out to the brewery in Wisconsin or wherever they were, and he did a brewery tour, and she was asking where everyone is from, and he said Portland, and she thanked him for saving their brewery. So they do acknowledge the fact to a certain degree that the community in Portland,
I believe it was the Lutz Tavern,
saved that
put it on tap.
I guess I
I
don't
think
know.
that's the store. I have no idea where it's at.
You can find PBR pretty much in. It's like the low rung beer pretty much everywhere in Portland. You can find that beer on tap
Yeah,
pretty much everywhere.
Or Tall Boys,
Yes,
like
Or
every
Tall
pizza
Boys.
place has Tall Boys, and
Yeah.
like, or
and
music venue or whatever. If they need like the budget option is usually PBR, and then they'll have like a Widmer or something on tap. It depends on if
Oh, go ahead.
yep.
it
Oh,
depends on if the owner cares about beer or not.
We
Something about-
jokingly used to refer to it as Portland's best reserve. So
Something about that professional bull riding.
professional
Yeah.
bull riding. Oh, that too.
the one thing I am glad about the Miller contracting thing is I don't know if you guys have noticed, like all of Miller's beer has moved to plastic 40-ounce bottles.
What?
Yeah, so like if you want like Steel Reserve or
I
Old
spend a
English
lot of time
because you
drinking
hate
those
yourself.
beers.
Listen to me. I tried to drink Steel Reserve one time.
Yeah, I tried to drink a 24 of it and I ended up throwing up.
I was going to
I
say,
quit. I tapped out.
it's been a long time since I bought a 40 of anything, to be quite honest.
On my milkman drinks a beer thing where I don't talk. I just drink. I couldn't finish. I just tapped out and left because it's so aggressive.
So speaking of which,
I've
Nick,
never had it.
how are we doing on the bottle? Where are we at?
Right here.
Oh yeah, he's not even close. He's not gonna make it.
Third of the way through then.
And Jared hasn't
Yeah, well-
poured the rest yet, or has he?
This is the rest.
Oh, that is the rest. Oh, Jared's
yeah,
gonna finish.
I'm
Jared's
most
gonna
of the way
He's
done,
gonna
yeah.
finish.
So Jared's done the first 16 and he's in the home stretch.
Yeah. I'm on the
Will
last
Nick black out before we?
few.
It's PBR. You should be all right.
That's me.
Dude,
just
he's
won't
been
fuck up
drinking.
tomorrow.
Nick's been drinking all day. He's been watching the Super Bowl and drinking beers.
It's more
I like Dave.
Willie
I only
Bird.
had 2 beers with the Super Bowl,
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
and in fact, yeah,
What?
and 1 beer lasted from second quarter all the way until the end.
Oh, wow. That's
And it was
really
just 16 ounce.
what
So
discipline.
now, listener, that
I was
you're
gonna
listening
say
to this,
that
and we're
while you
talking
guys
about
are-
the Super Bowl. You know exactly how long ago we recorded
whoa.
this episode.
We were talking. We were rewatching the Super Bowl, Nick. And I.
yeah. I was on his DVR.
It was so good. We
Yeah.
had to
No, it's on Peacock.
It's on
Yeah.
Peacock.
yeah.
Peacock
No, it
Plus.
is.
Peacock
I
Plus.
was watching it.
yeah.
But anyways, this won't give me a hangover. This will give me a nasty
Yeah.
case of gut rot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I couldn't imagine drinking that whole 40.
Oh.
What I do for this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to
Since
be
I don't
there.
make voice messages anymore.
Hey,
You're
listen.
gonna-
No one asked you to get a 40. You brought that upon yourself, bruh.
I did it for the show.
I did it
For
for
the
the
people.
show.
Yeah.
Just
I am
don't
a showman
don't
at
pour
heart.
one out for the show.
Are we going to have to do a review on some other beer that either comes in a 40 or a larger package? I can't
Yeah,
think
how about
of
you
it.
guys do a review on some brewery that does kegs only, and you have to drink the entire keg.
Oh, those big
Ugh.
old Heineken kegs when we do Heineken. You don't pick
Oh
up
yeah, those
sometimes.
5 liter.
We're not doing
Yeah.
a fucking. No.
Ian will
on.
put showing with that. Yeah,
I mean,
no,
I'll drink out of
Actually-
the keg, but I'm not gonna drink the whole keg.
So I was in John's Marketplace this weekend, apparently after Dave.
Yep.
I was kind of looking around, looking for other beers. if I
How
ever get
are
another
Dave's sloppy
choice.
seconds?
They were pretty good.
Yep. I cleared them out of the regular size of PBR, obviously, and they only could only get the 40.
You know what's funny, Jared? I go to Total Wine so not often, but in there this last time, it's like, why do we go to John's Market? I feel like Total Wine probably has more.
They have such a good beer
They have-
selection. And
It's
cheaper.
massive and it's cheaper. Like, why
Yeah.
do we do the
Way
John's
to play
Market
wholesale.
run?
John's Market's
Because
more,
the neighborhood is cute.
well, partly
Plus,
that,
there's cigars.
and you can buy a single one of stuff. You do pay for the privilege, but you can come out of there with 6 different beers and just one can. And sometimes,
You can do that
be
at John.
quite-
You can do that at Total Wine. They have, yeah.
do they allow you to split 6-packs?
Uh-huh.
Ah, that's nice. I'll have to
Yeah.
go there. Then.
Yeah,
I didn't think
we
they-
all need to go someday.
I didn't think they allowed you to split 6. Split them. I thought it was like you buy it.
In
Buy
fact,
the
they
beer.
have a section. Their section is they have just like singles all the way down.
I'll try and remember to ask them next time I'm there. I deliver there, so I'll
Oh.
be there in a couple days.
We have a winner. He's
Oh
drank.
dang!
did it.
Okay.
He's done it. Yeah, everyone else is. I've got I've got this, you know,
He
a little
obviously
bit
really likes it.
backwash.
It obviously goes down easy, and it's a great tasting beer. I'm thinking nothing but like
Feel
thumbs
like
up.
me.
He just opened his throat, and it went down.
Golden throat charmer, baby.
Wait, it's way smoother than Foster's.
Yeah, it is. It's actually
If I'm
way
honest,
better
it's
than
way
Foster's.
smoother. If we somehow rate this lower than Foster's, that's bullshit because I think this beer is better than Foster's.
This is smooth, and it's got a taste I like. It's not. It has a taste that's not quite generic.
It tastes
I
like
kinda
beer.
Like.
It also just tastes like beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I could pick out this from a difference from this and High Life.
Oh, I could.
need-
High Life has a
I
burnt
could.
taste.
We need to
I
do
could
that
too.
sometime. We'll just do a
Yeah,
brown
just do
bag
like a.
You
kind
guys
of
couldn't
yeah.
taste out
taste
certain
lager.
IPAs from other IPAs.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. We should do. That's why I'm saying we should next time we're all together. We should do a brown bag test of like, 3
Yeah.
or 4 beers.
That'd be fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Four would be the ideal number because if you have 3, you can kind of guess correctly,
Yeah.
maybe. Whereas if you've got 4 or 5, and it's really hard to just get it right randomly.
Yeah, just get like Oli, Rainier, High Life, and Pabst,
Hmm.
Or pub.
and do a sampling.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Throw 1 or 2 of those in there just to like mix it up. Yeah.
Oh, they're all in the same category.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all in the same category. It's like
Yes.
Old Germain.
What? I forgot about that stuff.
That one will throw you for a loop. You're like, oh, this one will fucking. It's like, what is this one?
well,
Huh.
if
look,
we do
look
that,
at him. He's gonna burp
He's
something
happy.
fierce.
Yeah.
He's gonna like.
Oh yeah, he's.
He shouldn't have downed that like that.
I'm
bro.
very glad I poured mine out because I know. It
I'm
would've
not
been
young
really
anymore.
All right, where are we? Where are we with on this beer?
bad.
PBR, the classic,
I'm not.
the wonderful, great beer. You gonna go straight up
wa-
your mouth?
It was a good beer just to BS and hang out and talk.
It's a beer bar. It's a
Yeah,
It's
it's a beer.
It's a beer.
this one's definitely not a thumbs down. I'll give
No, it's not a thumbs down. I'm having troubles. I've never had difficulty rating one. Like I'm usually pretty quick at like throwing it up,
it
but
3, 2.
it's weird.
This is not a rating. I'm gonna flip it up when everyone else is
Yeah.
ready.
Nick should
Ready
just
to
do
flip
it.
it.
Nick's the one who's gonna hate it the most.
Uh,
Nick's doing down thumb.
No,
no, I don't think he's giving. I
I'm just
don't
gonna
think
go
any of us are
sideways.
giving it a thumbs down. Yeah, I think yeah, it's good. It's good, but I mean, I'm not
gonna give it a
going out of my
sideways thumb.
way.
Because I know I'm gonna have hangover tomorrow because of PBR.
That's a 2. I think
Yeah, it's a beer. It's a beer. It's a good beer.
It's just a beer.
So,
it's a.
I mean,
it's,
that's
gonna be-
it's a well beer. as
all
you
of
would
us
say.
give it a sideways. So it's 2 out of
Yes.
2 out of 4, which is a good beer. It's
Yes.
not amazing. It's not like blowing your mind or anything like that. But
Yeah.
it's not. It's a beer you're not gonna say no to.
Yeah,
If
I feel
somebody
like
that's
offers
not-
you one.
I almost feel like 2. Like if I was rating it just on the scale and it was just me, I'd rate it maybe a 2.5. But because it's better than average, but it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
But
it's a good lager. It's a good lager.
it's a good lager. Yeah,
But
it's
Yeah.
cheap. It's refreshing. It tastes good. I mean, what's not to like, really?
yeah,
No, I
so-
enjoy it. I buy it.
It fits the
I
style.
I haven't had it actually in a very long time because I buy other. I have my more favorite cheap beers.
Yeah, I
But
don't
I'll-
buy it
it's-
because of the hangover. I mean, that's just
And my
a
mouth's
good
not
app.
dry after drinking it, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's I enjoy it. It's
What's that, Nick?
It's a good after work and going to the bar for a couple before you go home. Beer.
Yeah, totally.
Go home and the
Mow
wife
the
isn't going
lawn-
to yell
mow
at you
the
too much
lawn.
for it.
have a
Mow the
barbecue or
lawn.
whatever. Yeah.
Go hang out with your buddies after work and have a
Yeah.
picture of PBR or something like that. It's just a
Mhm.
hangout beer.
There
Yeah.
was a blues kind of southern restaurant, and you would get like your southern barbecue, other types of food, like whatever, but you would get like a bucket of ice and a 40,
And a 40.
and it would you'd share it with the group.
That's the pitcher.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like
The
basically
40
the
is the
pitcher.
pitcher. Yeah. Okay.
basically.
That's funny. Have you ever seen? There's some bars that actually serve. I don't know how many ounces it is, but it's this giant tower that's at pitchers. It looks like 3 or 4
I have
pitchers worth.
seen that. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
No,
and
I don't
those
know what
things
it's
are
called.
so cool looking, but I've never gotten one. It's like you have your own little tap at the bottom and you pour out of it. That's really cool. I want to try one of those someday. And PBR, I could see PBR being in that big old cravat, or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. It needs to be something that's affordable and available in
Yeah.
quantity. Yeah.
That's most bars out in East County.
Yeah.
Or at least
Yeah,
when
no
I used
doubt.
to deliver it, it was.
Yeah.
'Cause that was the one thing that I deliver the most of is PBR back in my beer delivery days,
Yeah, I mean-
it's better than an awful
which I
beer.
almost forgot about.
Yeah, this is perfect. You know, I would be perfectly happy if I just was like, I want a pitcher
So-
of beer.
It's got
Pitcher of
more.
beer,
It's got
and they
more
serve me
flavor than
this.
Coors
Yeah.
Light. You know.
So Ian,
Yeah.
And
what
it's
game
actually
would you
much
pair
better
this
off
with?
that.
I'm gonna pair it with Jared, Tekken,
Tekken.
because Tekken is a fighting game that I don't particularly love or care about. I'm not endeared to it, but if I'm drunk playing PBR on the couch with my boys, it's gonna be a good time.
Nice.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
I
it's
dig
just,
it.
it's gonna be a couch co-op. Is he gonna drunk? You're gonna have some pepperoni pizza. You're gonna drink some PBRs. You know what? No one's gonna give a shit. You're
It's a
gonna have a good time.
pretty good average game.
Yeah, exactly. It's Tekken.
Like
It's
PBR is a
fun.
pretty good average beer.
Yes, exactly. And that's how I feel Tekken is. It's
Yeah,
a little it's
yeah,
a
I
little
dig it.
difficult to control. It's kind of like weird and not as fluid as some other fighting games. The characters aren't exactly what you want, you know.
Don't have to really focus on it though, or
But you don't really have to focus on it. Like, you know, it's like it
kind
is
of like
what it
drinking
is.
Pabst.
Exactly. Exactly. It's-
All right. Then.
Tekken is
A good social
Tekken
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 is the
choice.
PBR of fighting games. And that's what I'm going with.
I used to
So-
love
Alright.
Well
Tekken too, but yeah, I never. There hasn't been one since that has really grabbed me.
Well, Tekken was really popular, won an award, and then no one really cares about it now. But it's still
Yeah.
currently
One
it's
of
still
my
popular.
one of my old friends when I had the PS1, he'd play the version of Tekken. I think one that I owned, and he could play it on like the hardest difficulty and like finish it in just a few minutes. Like none of the people battling him could have any chance. Like I couldn't even fight this guy. He was so stupid good. Tekken.
Tekken.
Sour.
Tekken. PBR. Tekken cross PBR.
Yeah, that could have been I could have paired that with a sour ale because I've got a pretty sour taste in my mouth from those old battles.
Oh, waka waka waka. Jared, speaking of a beer you need to pair with, what are you drinking next week?
You know, a beer we talk about pretty often on this show,
Uh-oh.
or at least mention. You mentioned it tonight.
Oh, did I?
Steel
Oh my
Reserve, baby! Yes, next
I
week
hate
we're
you.
gonna do Steel Reserve.
I
Dude,
hate you, Jerry.
Aaron! How did you luck out? Fuck that. Oh my god.
Well, come on. One of the last beers I picked was one that we talk about all the time, Budweiser.
I
So
know,
I
but
had to go. I had
Steel
to throw the
Reserve.
gauntlet down.
Steel
What's
Reserve isn't
what's
beer.
the smallest can that comes in? Because isn't it
I don't
24
think it does. It
or
comes in like in a
24.
tall boy.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So
Oh.
Wow.
like,
So
Can we just
So, like,
record
you can
one
get it in
episode
16
that
ounce.
night?
We can just
can
do
get it
one
in
show that
16
night.
ounces.
We can just do one show that
Yeah,
night.
that'll be a one show night.
Here's
Oh.
the other thing. Yeah.
So
anyways.
since
Oh,
Steel
yeah,
Reserve's owned by
yeah.
Miller, it comes in a plastic 40. So
But it's only 8.1. We've drinking heavier beers
Yeah,
than
but
that
it
on
tastes
this
it tastes
podcast.
like
Yeah,
it's like
but-
rocket fuel.
I've never had it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ah,
I think I'm
Already-
doing
All right. Well,
doing that
ladies
show
and
on the iPad in
gentlemen,
the bathroom.
I want to thank Nick and Dave for being on the show, but Jared can go
Yeah,
ahead
yeah,
and
I
fuck
love you
himself
too.
right to the moon.
on
You
that
can get
bum
fucked.
note, because that's definitely a homeless beer. Oh gosh.
I want to thank Jared for making me throw up in my toilet next week.
Yeah, at least he didn't get the spike. It's a Steel Reserve spike. To one
Well,
of those
maybe one of
fridgy
you guys
ones.
can pick like PBR Light.
Or the
I guess
high gravity
that's
one.
the
Well,
the
I
next one.
black-
feel
the
like
black
I feel
can
like
is-
Dave's only choice is Mickey's or
No,
Old
we
English.
Could
Old
do, We
English.
could do our first non-alcoholic beer.
I don't know if it's still around, but Colt 45. Maybe.
It is. I think
Yeah. Is
PBR owns Colt 45. They still make
They do.
it. I think they
Or-
own that.
Or
I will-
camo. Let's just do camo.
I need to just go to the gas station and find the highest alcohol beer. What was that one that they used to have caffeine in? Four Loco. Maybe we'll do that.
Jeez.
I don't want to
mean,
puke
I
on the
don't have to
show.
work
I don't
on
want to
Mondays,
puke
Dave.
on the
That's
show,
up to
dude.
you.
Look what
What
you
are-
started, Clarkages.
I think Steel Reserve is
what
going to be the closest I get to puking on the show. Anyway. Anyway.
That's great. This is a race to the bottom.
Hey, isn't this great content you can all watch and listen to free at wherever you get podcasts, you know, iTunes, Google Play,
and maybe Ian will bring a bucket.
Amazon Music, Spotify, if you're still using Spotify. You can also find us on youtube.com/milkmanpictures for the video show, which is super
You
fun.
can
And
find me
might
at
be
7-Eleven looking for next week's beer.
yeah, youtube.com/milkmanpictures or twitch.tv/the Couch Co-op Show might be the best choice for next week's beer because it might get
Ian's gonna vomit on
might
the
be
next episode. So
well, I
let's,
might not be the
let's
only
go.
one. Anyway,
Yeah, well, let's not do a 40 on that one.
No.
Oh.
anywho,
I
I want to thank Dave, Jared, and Nick for being here on the couch with me.
always
Until next time, please remember, Jared.
beer responsible.
Oh man, how did we land on that?
Because
Who's
nobody
after
else
Jared?
came up with anything better.